All right, I'm excited for another Reddit reply, but before we get into it, I finally got the GameGenic mat, so I kind of want to open this up and check it out real fast. All right, so here we go. So here's the mat laid out. It is well, it actually feels really nice. That's kind of weird. Not weird, but that's kind of cool that it feels so good. It feels nice. It's a little, not flimsier. It feels flimsier, but I don't think it actually is. I think that looks really good on this table. I think it's gonna pop really well. I'm really excited about it. Now I just gotta look for the PvP and where's the PvP instructions? Is it on the box? Huh. It is a multiplayer game mat. I mean, it states it itself right there. Multiplayer game mat. I don't know. It's perfect for Marvel champions in a vast variety of different games like PvP. Well, I'll have to contact GameGenic and let them know that unfortunately my mat did not come with the PvP instructions. So hopefully they can send that out soon and I can let you all know what they are. So hopefully we get that soon. So also really quick aside, like I'm feeling this mat actually feels really nice. Like it feels good. It's hard to explain. It feels like a little silkier. And I don't know if that's just me being me or my other mats have been played on so much that they've lost this feeling. But it's kind of weird. I like it, but it feels weird in a good way. I guess this is getting to be a weird review. Okay, let's move on to the Reddit reply. All right, so the very first thing we got to talk about is this is a little bit older. I think this was done a day or two ago, I guess, or 2-3 days by the time you're watching this. But they did their campaign, Fantasy Flight Games. This is on Instagram, I believe. It might be on Facebook too, but I've been seeing on Instagram. And they've been doing these paper collage things. Pretty much this is understood to be Cable over here, like the guy on the right. And we in the Discord at least guessing Domino on the left side. That's what I'm personally hoping for, so that's what I'm kind of guessing for. But everyone keeps talking about Gimme Deadpool, right? In the beginning, everyone was like, oh, there's a brick wall. Guaranteed Deadpool. Breaking the fourth wall. Absolutely Deadpool. And that's not the case so far. And Deadpool, like I said, Deadpool was never going to be in the main box. Like Deadpool was always going to be an expansion. To me, that just seemed like the simple decision on that. So a lot of people are kind of interested that if this is Domino, how her powers are going to work, right? Because Domino is just like lucky and that's it, right? That's like her superpower or whatever, which I think could be kind of cool. Like if they really run with it, it can be kind of cool in what they can do. There's a lot of different like thoughts and ideas of what's going on and what could be interesting. So yeah, it's kind of fun to look at. And I polled recently on my YouTube page, and we can bring it up in 1 second, that are you kind of following along on this campaign? And the results were a bit interesting. All right, so I actually have asked 2 different questions. I had to bring it up because I didn't already have it up, but do you want to see Deadpool as a hero of Marvel Champions? 417 votes say absolutely. 77% of the 417 votes said absolutely. 5% said not at all, which is like 20 some people, which is kind of interesting. And don't care if he is one or not is almost 20% of people, which that would be like 80 of these people. So like 100 people, if I can math correctly. Yeah, almost roughly about 100 people like just don't even care or don't even want him, which is kind of interesting. Like almost, or I guess that, yeah, just shy of a quarter of these people. So like, it's kind of fascinating to see. But the other thing that was more interesting that I saw was this bottom question down here. Have you enjoyed the teaser campaign Fantasy Flight Games have been doing, the one I just showed you, right? And yes, 44%. No, I saw 21% people. And that's only on 261 votes, I should mention. And then 35% haven't even paid attention to it. So it's so funny because we make such a big deal about this campaign and like, oh, is it good? Is it bad? And whatever. And 35% of people haven't even paid attention to it. It just goes to show, like, as content creators, sometimes we focus, too much on like minute small things that just don't matter. The general public probably just wants stuff, and that's it at this point. All right, so our next post question, whatever, is purchase suggestions. I'm pretty new with this game and I'm a bit overwhelmed by the quantity of products, which we are getting to like that territory of Marvel Champions where there's just so much stuff at this point. So I wanted to ask which products would be better to buy in an actual position. To buy in my actual position. I can't read. I now own Corset, Rise of Red Skull, Miss Marvel, which is a fantastic pickup. Is it better to buy expansion boxes or some hero packs? My main goal would be to get generally useful cards, but also getting fun heroes to play. I thought buying Hulk, let's go. Nebula, Ironheart, and Nova probably, but I don't know if they'd be better to buy a box for the villains. So This is a question that comes up a lot. I've recently had I'm in the process of doing a video series on this if you were just focused on the aspect side of things. Because here's the thing, there is really no right answer, and this question keeps coming up. And like, I wish I was able to come up with a better answer, but the general idea I would say is if you want the best bang for your buck, you buy the boxes, right? If you want the best bang for your buck, buy the boxes. If you only care about hero design and that's it, and just like getting to play as that hero, buy the hero packs that you think you would like the most, right? Just whatever interests you, buy that. If you only care about aspect cards, right, and that you want to be able to beef up the heroes you already have or do more interesting things with deck building that really gets more of the aspect card side of things, I guess watch my series of videos on it. That question leads to a lot of complicatedness, to be honest, because it becomes so varied on what kind of player you are and what you like about the game. So that one gets hard, but the general gist is best bang for your buck, buy the boxes. Anything else, you just better off like buying hero packs that you enjoy. Also, if you're a big fan of X-Men, probably start with the X-Men and then work from like the beginning to the end, right? With how they've done releases. And if you're not a huge fan of X-Men or you don't really care, then just start from the beginning, right? Start with Rise of Red Skull, skip over Guardians, and then just keep going from there. I say skip over Guardians now because that is a pretty self-contained cycle, and it's kind of frustrating, especially if you just buy it all at retail prices. It can be kind of expensive and can be kind of off-putting. So save that near the end, but everything else just go in order. It's just the easiest way to do it, really. All right, so then this next person talks about the second package of they've done this before with the packaging of heroes. I've done a video on this. Basically, in certain markets, they're putting up, yeah, Spanish is fine. They're putting up packs of heroes like this. And this had a lot of people theorizing this was the future release of Marvel Champions. They were just going to keep doing this for everything. I don't see that happening. I see this happening in markets where some hero packs just don't sell as well, or it's hard to keep up the amount of SKUs that are needed to like sell in that area. So it just cheaper from a publisher standpoint and more effective to just sell packs like this. I hope they do bring this to America, by the way, because for people that want to catch up that got into the X-Men game or got into the game from X-Men, I think this is a great way to catch people up because like hunting hero packs can be kind of a pain. You have to do research like, okay, what hero goes to what cycle? And like a lot of the hero cards do kind of play off of like each other in that cycle, right? Like a cycle is kind of designed all together in mind. So it is generally good to buy most of the heroes in the same cycle. So I hope they just release these in America at some point or like anywhere else. I mean, I know I say America because I'm in America, but like all markets, right? I hope they just do this for all markets at some point. But I think it's a good thing. And also I think it's a good thing that they're doing this with older content. And I also don't think this is the future release. Like I know there's been like a weird amount of speculation. The reason the delay is happening is because they're going to repackage everything to hero bundles like this. And like the future release stuff is all going to be hero bundles. I'm going to tell you now, there's no shot that's going to be it yet. Maybe down the road, but with X-Men, there's no reason to. There's no reason to do that. So anyway, I don't think they're doing that, but they're slowly pushing out this product line, which I thought was pretty cool and pretty interesting. Okay, so the last one is other possible X-Men related waves. They said now that we're getting an X-Force wave, it got me thinking. They said that there were 3 planned X-Men waves, and it seems logical to go back to X-Men side and fill out the roster with the missing popular characters like Beast, Nightcrawler, Emma Frost, and Jubilee, which, by the way, I think Jubilee is almost a shoo-in because of her one ally card, right, in the campaign that says, like, if Jubilee, the hero, is in play, that you can't use that card or whatever it was, but it referenced a hero Jubilee card. Like, that's as close as it gets to spoiling it for you. Like, they're making that reference because it exists, right? It was definitely designed in mind that is a hero they want to put in, by the way. I would put money that Jubilee is in one of the next 2 cycles. Anyway, but if this game goes on long enough, do you think we'll ever get another X-Men adjacent wave? New Mutants, X Factor would be a welcome addition down the road. There's a ton of weird sub-teams and spin-offs to pull from. So I do think this, right? There's a lot of interesting comments about this, that maybe it'll be more than 3 or, well, they talk about different waves and stuff like that and what it should be. Licensing with Marvel, which could be weird. I'm sure it's weird with X-Men too. I think that's the hardest part is from my understanding, X-Men related things has like a different license on it, and it's like a little bit trickier. I think it works with Spider-Man too. Like the Marvel license is kind of weird. Like you see it with the movies, right? With like Fox and Sony and all that stuff. Like it can get tricky. I don't know if that extends into the realm of games. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know if the license only extends to movies or whatever. I don't know that much about it, but it could be tricky in that sense if that is a thing. But more importantly, they kind of all talk about it and whatever, and different things could be and all that fun stuff. So I think this is possible with everything in this game, right? Like, let's be real for a second. Like, there is a lot of Spider-Man content out there in the Spider-Man universe. For Marvel Champions, there's like an okay amount, right? There's not like a ton though. That is an easy well they can come back to, like, hey, you want to print some money? Like, let's put out some more Spider-Man stuff. And they could do that, and they can make it fun and interesting. And like, I'm not just like saying they would just throw something together, but there's so much there that they could do things with. There's other IPs that they could, mess around with for a little bit and then go back to an old favorite, right? I've been pushing Kool-Aid Man. I think he should be a thing. I think he's really cool, and that should be a cycle because I think that'd be hilarious and might wreck the game. But whatever, I want it, so they should give it to me. But then after that cycle, they could go back to Spider-Man. They can go back to X-Men. I don't think just because they did a section of it, like to assume that there'll never be another Avenger that they ever do again. I mean, they probably will, right? They probably will go back to Avengers at some point and like at least throw out a Avenger or something. I don't know. I could still see Winter Soldier being a thing, and I think he becomes an Avenger, right? I don't know. My Marvel knowledge is sometimes lacking, but like stuff like that, right? Like the opportunity is there for more future Avenger type heroes. So why wouldn't they make more Avengers, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. That I think down the road they'll do the set of 3. They have some other stuff that they need to do with like Daredevil and whatnot, Kool-Aid Man, obviously. That down the line, when they're thinking like what would be fun to do next, they're like, let's go back and revisit X-Men. It's been a while, that was really fun and enjoyable, and it makes sense not to want to do all of it at once because there are people that don't like X-Men, and you'd be alienating those people. Maybe not a ton of people, but I'm sure they exist. So I think there's a solid shot to go back to this stuff, but I don't know when it would be, but I think there's definitely a possibility to do stuff later on with it for sure. Now, previously, I talked a bit about buying hero packs for aspect cards to do different deck building stuff, and I said I started a video series on that, right? So if you want to see the first video, it's right here. Just check it out. It just kind of goes over the first cycle of the different aspect cards in the hero packs and kind of helps you build out, or it helps you think about what you want to buy. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe. That stuff really helps out. See y'all next time.